Welcome to another episode of the Neg Entropy Chronicles. I'm back with another video, so do what it shows on the screen and click that notification bell to be alerted anytime I drop a new video. So, Warner Brothers self-sabotaging habits. So what we got right now, I got my brother in the building, and we about to keep it funky like two armpits because he made some very good points yesterday when we were talking about Warner Brothers after watching Zack Snyder's Justice League version again, and he said something really cool. Go ahead and introduce yourself if you feel like it, or just get straight to the story.
How's it going, everybody? I'll just go straight into it. Now, I'm going to bring out some points that's really eye-opening, and it's actually kind of disturbing. Now, in Man of Steel, Henry Cavill, or Cavill, however you want to pronounce it, he was contractually obligated to a sequel for his film Man of Steel. And I did the research on how much the budget was and how much it actually made the box office. It doubled its budget from over, if I recall correctly, 220 million, and they made like 440 something million at the box office. But because the studio wanted $1 billion from that movie, they felt that they just didn't need to give him a sequel. That was their first mistake because they straight up betrayed Henry Cavill out of his film, and plus, therefore making them lose more money in the process. Number two, in Batman v Superman, the original screening for that film, that actually happened to have the extended cut on the Ultimate DVD collection. Mm-hmm. It was actually the whole version was actually screened at first, and guess what? It ended up having a standing ovation. But apparently the reason why the theatrical version was shorter was because the studio themselves decided, it's a tad too long. Go ahead and make it short. Dude, if it earned a standing ovation at its first screening, you don't mess with that. Do not mess with that. No. That's a second strike, because mind you, people who saw the extended cut of that film felt that, hey, this is a much better version because it answered so many questions that the theatrical version did not. Because mind you, at the box office, it actually dropped, like in terms of like the viewership, it dropped because it pissed so many people off.
But I think wasn't that like. But most of his films are long due to the slow motion, right?
Well,
because, even in the Unlimited Edition, it did answer a lot of questions, like with newspapers and stuff like that. But I think one of the issues was just the speed, all them long, drawn out.
It wasn't as long. The
slow not as long, but he had a lot of scenes that were super slow.
Not in comparison to the Zack Snyder his version of Justice League, though.
That one was amped.
Yes, that was very amped to its to a T. Yeah. But the slow motion wasn't nearly as long in comparison to the Justice League movie. It actually the full version just had just stuff that actually added more context to the story and answered meaningful questions that actually ended up breaking the film at the box office. Or not breaking it, it just divided a lot of people, which is understandable.
Yeah, because even when I looked at Batman vs Superman, I couldn't understand the beef or how everything just it was like jumping points. Like we talked last night, it was like slow motion for Zack Snyder is Michael Bay's explosion.
Yes, that is his style.
Because what was it Batman vs Superman where he had the scene where they showed the parents getting killed and the bullet shoot and took forever for the bullet to travel. That scene.
Yes.
That was just, we've seen Batman's parents.
That was their first. That was Zack Snyder's first mistake in terms of narrative direction. Let me remind you how Batman came to be Batman in slow motion. Why would you do that? But that was his decision. But at least all the other stuff that he had in his full version actually answered some glaring questions, which is something that Warner Brothers did not like.
Now, something I realized about Warner Brothers is where they go wrong is that they kill off all their villains. They kill off the villains, they kill off parents, they kill off everybody. And it ruins further pushes for additional stories. Because who was it that they murked off? Well, one, they killed Dooms. First off, they brought Doomsday in entirely too early.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't make sense. Then also, when you look at Batman vs. Superman and you look at the Justice League, they included 5 different movies into each one. So we're talking about all these different storylines that are being mixed into a movie. Like they try to cram them, which they shouldn't do.
Yes.
They should literally do them separately. They could have had 5 Justice League movies alone based off this whole thing. I mean, I think they rushed it too much.
That's ultimately what they did too. That was the direction that the studio wanted to go. And even when, even as Zack Snyder was okay, cool, I'll do that, but let me do it in a way that it'll make sense, or at least it'll make a little bit of sense. They still pretty much canon. Like they keep betraying their own actors.
Yeah. I mean,
because they did the exact same thing with Ben Affleck, because he was the original writer and director for the Batman, the upcoming Batman,
the one with
Robert Pattinson. Yeah, he was the original writer and director for that. But guess what? After his film, Something by Night bombed at the box office, they just canned it.
By Night. I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with his movies.
Yeah, I honestly forget the accurate title for that film. But after that film bombed, and he was one of the people responsible for it, they straight up just, nah, you're not going to be the director anymore.
So when you say responsible for it, like what? Because the directing viewpoint was bad, or what? What did he mess up to where it would affect the Batman style that he was going for? Because I mean, from the previews, it looks pretty hard, you know. But scratch all that. Did you see the article? I just read it today, where their goal is never to do DCEU universe. Like they're just like, no, we're not doing that. They want to stay away from that wholeheartedly and just do individual movies and call it a day.
I did not see that article, but now that you brought that up, I think that is ultimately foolish. Because first of all, here's the thing, and the main reason why I brought those points up, and it leads me to have this conclusion: Warner Brothers were dead set on sabotaging themselves from the get-go.
Why?
The reason why is because of the fact that they, first of all, they keep mentioning, we don't want to copy Marvel in terms of setting up our universe first, then doing a Justice League. But here's the thing: what they ultimately don't admit is that since Marvel and DC are practically sibling companies, they're similar in that aspect. They have their own universes.
Yeah.
But they felt like they needed to play catch up so bad that they had the nerve to cram in everything the way that they did. And they keep pretending that they know better than their consumers when in fact they don't.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to have people buy the product, you might want to listen to the people who've actually read on the product since the beginning. Because I mean, even if they would have started with say they did the 4-hour Justice League movie, right? That would have been perfect to set up 5 different movies.
Yes.
Like instantly. You could have had your Flash Point Paradox. You could have had the Batman movie, the one with Robert Pattinson now. You could have had a Superman Part 2. You know what I mean? You could have had a Wonder Woman's actual movie, and then you could have Aquaman all follow after that 4-hour movie. People would have been like, all right, cool, now we can get into it. You know, because when you look at the Justice League one, it was more focused on, man, we need him back. So it made sense because they already had the first one. It would make sense. Everybody knows Batman. Like, I don't care who you are.
Exactly.
Everybody knows Batman. I mean, what did we say last night? What, he had like almost 10 films?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has more films than Superman.
Oh yeah, Superman's only got like 5 or 6.
Yeah,
I mean individual movies.
Yes,
like,
but ultimately not. Like Batman's the king in terms of having
6. Superman has 6 individual ones. So he's got 6. Batman has. I mean, he usually does his in trilogies, but what is it? We talked about it yesterday. All the bad ones that he made, but then you had he's got like 8 to 9 films, and now he's got this one that's coming out now. I mean, I think they're overdoing it with the Batman, because I'm sorry, if they're going to start this new Batman off and they start talking about his parents getting killed, I might lose it. Like, I might be like, because they're literally wasting time on it's almost like watching Spider-Man's Uncle Ben's situation.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Marvel did really good, because they just like, we're not even going to bring up
because Uncle Ben everybody knows how Spider-Man got his start. They know, everybody knows that. Exactly. Or at the very least, the regular moviegoer has an inkling. He's heard that before.
Exactly.
Because I don't know exactly how it happened, but it happened.
Like, we know how it happens.
Just get to the plot. Just get to the plot. I don't need his origin again. I already got the first trilogy and the second sequel.
I mean, every reboot, they show their parents that. I mean, and I think Warner Brothers and Fox are both on that level of, like, they don't know what they're doing. You know what? We've seen Fantastic Four being remade and just bricking terribly.
Yeah.
You've got X-Men with the New Mutants. I haven't really even seen anything about it because they talk about it so bad.
Yeah, it's not worth watching.
And then what else is I mean, besides X-Men, I mean, they did all right by finally letting Marvel get a hold of it to fix Spider-Man. But they almost messed themselves up in that deal because they could have caused a lot of problems, but they did good with Venom.
Yes.
So, but when you look at Warner Brothers, it's like, I mean, even with certain movies that they make, you'd be like, yo, don't do this. And you'll watch them mess it up or they'll get close and somehow drop the ball. But I think this one is the major one. Just because they don't want to acknowledge that they messed up.
Exactly, and which brings me to this particular my conclusion of everything.
All right.
Movie studios, of course, they're most likely. I don't know. Maybe they'll watch this or maybe not. Would you please stop sabotaging your own people in an effort to try to make more money that way? Because it's obviously not working. You know that people. Everybody has the internet nowadays. They can see and chronicleize your every mistake, just like we're doing right now. If you ultimately want to make money, quit sabotaging your own stuff by betraying your actors and making them look bad and making your story look bad. It's just everything just plummeting off of bad decisions. Please stop that if you actually want to survive. Because at this point, I'm honestly thinking that this other studio like Lucasfilm. They
might take a hit if they don't get back
they already did. I'm just glad that they made their bad decision after the second season of The Mandalorian was finished.
Oh, okay.
But man, they are getting some heavy backfire, and I do not feel any sympathy for them whatsoever.
But I think it's because they want to the numbers. It's almost like when you look at a boxer, all they care about is the undefeated record versus taking on the best challenges, best man win type deal. I think they're looking at it the same way. Their goal is to hit 1 billion plus every film they drop, and instead they're not hitting 1 billion because they're not listening to the people. You know, because I mean, Warner Brothers has had a lot of shots at this, and they have went from being Warner Brothers has the mold to why are they still making films to okay, they look like they're getting there. You know what I'm saying? Like every time they drop the ball. But we'll probably get to another segment of this. This is gonna be the first one. We'll probably get back with another studio, or we'll just talk about a film in general. And trust me, we went real light on Warner Brothers this time just because we're trying to keep it cool. Want to thank everybody for tuning in and appreciate all the love, and everybody have a great day now. Peace.